It appears that Trump world is embracing a new conspiracy around the shocking raid on Mar-a-Lago. Now, on Monday, of course, federal agents obtained a search warrant to recover about a dozen, anywhere from 10 to 15 boxes of documents illegally taken by the former president after he left the White House 2 years ago. Now, apparently this has been about a year and a half in the making, in the planning. So, you know, there's details on that. Now, the documentation allegedly may have contained some classified materials. And so him taking those materials that didn't actually belong to him violated a Watergate era called the Presidential Records Act, which Trump, by the way, amended in 2018 to make it so that if you had taken potentially classified materials, that it goes from a misdemeanor to a felony. Fun. All right. So now, after the initial shock and outrage from Trump and his supporters in the media, as I have shown you, and elsewhere, had kind of set in, they immediately began to coalesce around some conspiracy theories. One of them is put out by actually President Trump, former President Trump first. In fact, he wrote this on True Social. The FBI and others from the federal government will not let anyone, including my lawyers, be anywhere near the areas that were rummaged and otherwise looked at during the raid on Mar-a-Lago. Everyone was asked to leave the premises. It's actually not true. They wanted to be left alone without any witnesses to see what they were doing, taking, or hopefully not planting. Why did they strongly insist on having nobody watching them, everybody out? Obama and Clinton were never raided despite big disputes. Okay. Now, in that, he basically planted the seed. Planted because he's alleging that the FBI could have planted evidence. Of course. Now, as soon as that came out, everybody started running with it. In fact, I'm going to show you a tweet here from Marjorie Taylor Greene to start out with. She tweeted, "I think there's an extremely high probability that the FBI planted evidence against Trump. Otherwise, why would they not allow his attorneys or anyone to watch them while they conducted their unprecedented raid? They know the consequences of an empty-handed power move." Power move. Good times. So, I think there's an extremely high probability. My source, just trust me, bro. But there's more. Jack Posobiec, who's another far-right influencer, tweeted this. Breaking, Trump suggests FBI could have planted evidence during their 10-hour-long power flex. Makes it sound like a workout routine or a machine. Oh, yeah. Okay, we're selling the Power Flex 5,000. That's right. You just get the Power Flex 5,000 for only $199.95. And then you could become you could bulk up. You could become buff like me. Yeah. Okay, anyway, I don't know why I went on that tangent, but it just sounds like something that Donald Trump might, not Donald Trump, sorry, but Alex Jones might sell. But anyway, to continue Posobiec's tweet, this 10-hour power flex raid at Mar-a-Lago because his team were blocked off from watching. The DOJ wanted security cameras turned off. Melania's wardrobe was ransacked. Now, not only, of course, there were a lot of assertions on Twitter, but also right-wing media. I'm going to show you some examples of that. Take a look.
We'll see what they come up with. You know, if they did, it'll be interesting, especially since they precluded me from actually watching what they did. But at this point, I don't necessarily think that they would even go to the extent of trying to plant information. I think they just make stuff up.
And quite honestly, I'm concerned that they may have planted something. You know, at this point, who knows?
Do I know that the boxes of material they took from Mar-a-Lago, that they won't put things in those boxes to entrap him?
What the FBI is probably doing is planting evidence, which is what they did during the Russia hoax. We also have a hunch they doctored evidence to get the warrant.
Well, I actually don't think they went in looking for documents. I think that was probably their excuse, that they found some Obama donor judge to write him a ruse. Yeah, they found some Obama donor judge to write, not even a judge, a magistrate to write and give them the search warrant. I think they went in there looking to see whatever they could find. Who knows what happened while they were in there, because the lawyers weren't allowed to see it.
Yeah, who knows what happened? They could be planting the evidence. They could be planting things. You don't know that. Really? Really? So, look, let me give you the facts on what's happening, okay? What had happened. Now, in order to get a search warrant, the FBI, to search a former president, they had to go to, yes, as Marco Rubio says, a judge or a magistrate. Now, in order to have that judge or magistrate sign off on that warrant, they have to have probable cause that there are documents on the premises that have been not shared with the National Archives, for example, and that they also have to prove that there is a risk that the president or former president might destroy or hide these documents that have been requested before. So they also had to believe that, hey, look, we asked for the documents before from the National Archives. We even went through some of the documents before and removed some before, but we still think that there's something that you're hiding. And so that's why we went and got this search warrant. Apparently their evidence was good enough to convince this magistrate to sign off on this raid. So now, why would they think that these documents are in peril? Well, it's pretty well known by now that Donald Trump has a habit of destroying documentation. I mean, his long-standing and well-documented habit of destroying things through shredding, through, I don't know, flushing them down the toilet.
People are flushing toilets 10 times, 15 times.
That's why normal people are not flushing 10 to 15 times. It's because you're shoving documents down the toilet. We have pictures of those. So, come on, man.
Where the water rushes out to sea because you could never handle it.
No. So, look, Maggie Haberman, who's a reporter, she had pictures that were obtained from staffers that she had held on to in order to sell her book, of course, right? Because that's what they do. Nonetheless, I mean, look, these reporters, they do want to get paid. They held on to this information that we should have known earlier. Nonetheless, okay, they're released, and look, these are shredded documents that were sitting in the White House toilet. We know he flushes documents down the toilet because, again, he continuously broke the plumbing in the White House, according to staffers, and would randomly, as I mentioned, bring up how toilets would take 10 to 15 times to flush. Now, I know the guy eats a lot of McDonald's, but there is no way a human can clog a toilet that bad without flushing down things that should not be flushed. Okay?
Big, massive dumps.
All right.
They call them dumps. Big, massive dumps.
But okay, let's get into the search itself, okay? Now, according to an official, this raid was described as an orderly execution of a search warrant. So now, again, I call it a raid because it's just funny to call it a raid, but wasn't like agents, that were coming in and kicking down doors and smashing windows and doing anything like that, okay? In fact, the FBI notified the Secret Service that a warrant would be executed. As such, the Secret Service facilitated access to the Florida Trump property as federal agents, but did not take part in the investigation or the search. So the Secret Service is like, oh, okay. You need to go to search property? Fine, we'll open the door for you. Have at it. That's fine. Okay. So now, what about the person who signed off on this? There's been a lot of discussion, again, going back to the video here that I showed you earlier. Marco Rubio, they got an Obama donor judge. An Obama donor judge. All right, well, who was it? Turns out, federal magistrate who signed off is named Bruce Reinhart. Now, is he an Obama donor? Well, yes. Reinhart, by the way, was sworn in as United States Magistrate Judge for the Southern District of Florida on March 14th, 2018, while Trump was president. Now, of course, to be fair, Donald Trump had no oversight of that appointment. Okay, so again, I'm just correcting a little bit of misinformation that had come out, because a lot of people were saying, look, he was appointed by Trump. Not true. Christopher Wray, however, head of the FBI, absolutely was. Now, as stated on the United States Court's website, the U.S. magistrate judge is appointed by a majority vote of active district judges of the court. Now, that is different than United States district judges who are appointed by the president and confirmed by the Senate. So again, I'm just clearing things up, okay? Now, the current Southern District of Florida Chief United States District Judge is Cecilia M. Altanega, nominated by former President George W. Bush back in 2003. Now, Donald Trump did get a chance to appoint 5 district judges for the Southern District of Florida, but they were appointed after Reinhart was already sworn in. So he had nothing to do with his appointment. Now, as far as the context here, again, this is more complicated than saying that the president appointed this magistrate, therefore something deep state. Obama, again, didn't appoint this justice, this magistrate, okay? So Marco Rubio is wrong, but then you also had people like Keith Olbermann who were wrong as well, that were asserting that Trump had appointed this particular magistrate. Now, again, neither Trump or Obama appointed this guy, again, unlike FBI Director Christopher Wray, who was confirmed by about every Republican senator. So you can see there's, again, a bit of reaching going on here. Yes, some by, MSNBC liberals, as well as more from the side of the right wing. Far, far more. So now Trump, okay, now the warrant itself, I don't know what's in the warrant. Nobody knows what's in the warrant, except for a couple of people. One of them happens to be Trump. So now Trump was given a copy of it, and it was also given a list of the things that the FBI had taken. So that is standard procedure. When you are raided by the FBI and they come in and they take materials, they give you an itemized list of what they took. So there it is. They gave that and the warrant to Trump, and even showed it to 2 of his lawyers who did happen to be there at Mar-a-Lago during that 10-hour raid. So it is required by law that officers give a copy of the warrant and the inventory of what was taken by the FBI to the person that they took it from, or a representative, or if nobody's there, leave it in a place where people can find it. Okay? So now, that means that Trump knows exactly what they were looking for and what was taken. He knows all the information. He would also know, by the way, and could provide the receipts if something was actually planted. He could produce it now. He could present this, and guess what? Completely embarrass and discredit the FBI. Is that what he's doing? No. As of right now, Trump and his lawyers are refusing to share the warrant with news outlets, making me think that, of course, he's either trying to use this to rile up his base, which certainly he's doing right now. They are riled up. Or he was hiding this documentation from the National Archives that he thinks might get him in trouble. Now, the only person who knows what is in those documents, what's going on here, the details, is Donald Trump and, of course, the FBI. And guess who's not telling us anything?